So earlier today, King v. Burwell was decided by the Supreme Court in a 6-3 decision, headed by, of course, Justice John Roberts. The people who are dissenting, of course, the conservative justice headed by Justice Antonin Scalia, who has, of course, been a vocal Obamacare opponent. Now, he don't like this law, and of course he ruled against it, and in his dissent, he had some absolutely ridiculous lines that he wrote in his dissent. So I want to go through some of those and just kind of analyze the utter sheer butthurt that this guy has. Oh, he hates it so much. Now, as I said, in a 21-page dissent, Antonin Scalia accuses Justice John Roberts of abandoning his judicial independence to defend Obamacare at all costs. I love this. He said, normal rules of interpretation seem always to yield to the overriding principle of the present court. The Affordable Care Act must be saved. He writes, words no longer have meaning if an exchange that is not established by a state is established by the state. Words no longer have meaning. How ridiculous is that? It's a phrase. Look, man, it's not as if you can't ask the people who framed it. Do you think the people who created this law put that in there so that they could later on challenge it and say, oh, yeah, by the way, people in the states who haven't actually created their own exchange, yeah, you're fucked. Sorry, guys. You're screwed. Come on, dude. Especially when the people who made it are saying, no, that's not the intent. Established by the state can mean established by the federal government. It doesn't have to mean individual states. They're sitting there telling you, that was our intent. How could you rule against that? But no. Apparently words have lost their meaning. All right, another one. Now, the decision here rewrites the law to make tax credits available everywhere. Oh no, tax credits, the end of the world. We should start calling this law SCOTUS care. What if those idiots wouldn't keep bringing challenges to the Supreme Court just to try to get rid of this law that's actually helping people? Maybe it wouldn't be in the SCOTUS so many times. Maybe you wouldn't have to make so many decisions on it. Just a thought. The court holds that when the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act says exchange established by the state, it means exchange established by the state or the federal government. That is, of course, quite absurd. And the court's 21 pages of explanation make it no less so. Wah. He's throwing a hissy fit. No. 21 pages of actual facts from the people who created the law, who wrote the damn thing, explaining that in exchange, that tax credits can be distributed even when a state doesn't create their own exchange. No. That is absurd. That is quite absurd. It's the equivalent of stamping your feet and crying. Cry more, Antonin Scalia. All right. Even more. You would think the answer would be obvious. So obvious that there would hardly be a need for the Supreme Court to hear a case about it. You guys agreed to hear the case. You didn't have to. But you wanted to. So that you could shut it down. Because you hate people having health care. It's amazing to me that you could sit there and be like, I don't want these people to have tax credits. I don't want people to be able to help to afford their health care. I want this law to fail. That's essentially his argument. And every time a challenge has come to the Supreme Court, Scalia has been very consistent on this issue. I don't want this law. I want this to fail. There's more. Impossible possibility. Thy name is an opinion on the Affordable Care Act. Today's interpretation is not merely unnatural, it is unheard of. And finally, the cases will publish forever the discouraging truth that the Supreme Court of the United States favors some laws over others and is prepared to do whatever it takes to uphold and assist its favorites. Maybe we should ask you about Citizens United. I wonder what you would have to say about that one.